Buddy, get out of that water. You have your drinking water. You don't have to drink mud, you fool. Damn dog. So now he's drinking water. At least that's clean rainwater out of the top of her toy box. Buddy, come here, bud. Come here. Up. Hi, bud. He tried to get up there. He couldn't. You can't get up there? There you go. Now you're up there. Now you're on camera. We're going to have to use this. This is we'll call this bloopers and outtakes, right? No, you're checking out the microphone. He licks the microphone. All right, go in the house with Mama. Go on. Not a chance. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeremy, and welcome back to the JB Woodworks and Stuff channel. It is Tuesday, June 16th, I believe, 2026. It's a little after 5 in the evening. We just had a rain shower come through. It's actually kind of nice right now. The sun over behind me. And as you see, the dog's out here fooling around being silly like he usually is. But anyways, this is the next video in the series I've done called Big Mistake. Now, you guys have seen, a lot of you that have been following me have seen the videos. The first time I showed that I sold a 395 XP saw with an Alaskan mill Husqvarna chainsaw. Had some age and a little wear to it, but a great saw, still in great shape. I sold it for 800 bucks. And then I said, is it a big mistake or not? Well, I revealed that I had purchased I guess it's called Holzforma. It says for the working man. Now, I don't know if that means it's for the cheap working man or the working man on an extremely tight budget. But anyways, that's the other saw was a G395XP, which is supposed to be the knockoff version of the Husqvarna 372 XP. Now, the saws look nearly identical. All of the parts, Husqvarna parts for 372 XP, will bolt right onto that saw, which that was one of the deciding factors for me to try this. My firewood business is growing pretty rapidly, but I'm still on a limited budget, putting a lot of the money right back into growing the business, purchasing logs for inventory and things like that. So I don't have a huge budget for purchasing new equipment. And the fact that I will be trying a couple different guys working for me, possibly one on Fridays and maybe a different one on Saturdays or something. And I only have, other than the 395, which is a little heavy to carry around all day, nice for the bigger wood, powerful, but I have a 572 XP. Those who follow the channel will know that. But the 572 is a great saw. I think I paid like 1,400 bucks for it with a 24-inch bar and chain at a Woodsman show in Boonville, New York. That's every August. I'm going to be at the one this August in Boonville. So if anybody'd like to meet me or see me, I'll be hanging around the place, probably spend a little time at the Easton Made booth. I'll be there on the Saturday. I'm not sure the date, what it is, but it's like the third Saturday in August, I believe. So anyways, if I'm going to have people working for me and I only have one saw that I'm using all the time, I wanted a couple saws that I could have for backup and be less money than buying. I think the 372 right now, you can still get them from Husky. They're in the like $1,300 range, and that's more than I want to spend to have multiple different people with varying levels of experience, we'll call it. And you know, if a saw is going to get worn out, drop, broke, whatever else, I'd rather it be an inexpensive saw. And as if you watch the video on the G372, I think I paid 330 bucks with the 24-inch bar and chain. It's extremely affordable. I will be doing a like a review on that one of after I've used it a little bit. I've only used it a very little bit so far, and I've had a couple issues with it already. So stay tuned for that. Please click subscribe. Um, when you look at the analytics of a small channel like mine, you find that um, it's something like 10-15% of my watch hours are people that actually subscribed, or my views are people that actually subscribed. So you know, I have a couple videos out there that are having moderate success right now. My best ones yet, long form videos that are in the 3,000, 2 to 3,000 view range, which is very good in the 40 to 50 watch hours. That's the best I've had so far. But out of all those, very few of them are actually subscribers that are looking at it. I only have like 75 subscribers. So it's incredibly important. If you take the time to watch the video, just click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it would really help me grow my channel as I work towards possible monetization or whatever. So, but that being said, I'll do a follow-up review video on the G372 pretty soon. But today, we're going to call this big mistake number 2. The other one, I guess, would be number 1. And there was like part 1 with the 395, the original saw, and then part 2 was me building the 372, the G series, and then 3, I think, was me cutting some wood with it. So this is big mistake number 2. We're going to say part 1, and it's going to be assembling this one. So it is a chainsaw. Yes, it is made in China. It's very inexpensive. As far as Chinese, I'm a red-blooded American like most of you. I would love to have everything American, but I have an extremely tight budget, and dollar for dollar, things are what they are. Sometimes, depending on what you're getting, it's okay. It's kind of like I've been a professional mechanic for almost 30 years. Um, and I have a lot of snap-on tools, you know, your Husqvarnas, your we'll compare it to chainsaws or steels, those type of things, not your Chinese ones. But I do have some Harbor Freight stuff that's very inexpensive. Most of it is Chinese or whatever. It just depends what you're doing with it and how much you're going to be using it, so how much you're willing to spend for it. So a case like this where I'm trying to get inexpensive saw for other people to use, and keep it affordable, where if something happens to it, it's not that big of a deal, I think it's a good choice. The proof will be in the pudding, as they say, after I use it some to see if they're going to hold up or not. But one of the deciding factors, like I said before, is the fact that all the Husqvarna parts bolt right onto these, which is a big plus, because I know the carburetors can be kind of crappy, and you can bolt the Walbro one that's used on right through the OEM or whatever, through Husqvarna, right on those both these saws or whatever, and I hear it takes care of all that problem. So to get on what we're doing here, this one here is, probably can't read it, it's the G395XP. So basically be replacing the 395 that I had. So I end up with a 372 and a 395 for a total, and this one here has a 28-inch bar, by the way, because some of the wood I'm doing is like 24 to 30 inch in diameter. So this will be, I got both of these for like 750 or 735. That's pretty cheap. So anyways, it's got a tool kit like the other one. It looks like it's got the mixing bottle, which I will not use, but, and then it appears to be a chainsaw. So this one does not have the full wrap handlebar, which is what I'm used to. I'm not used to the full wrap, and I'm really not sure yet on the G372 if I really like it. I may go back with a standard bar on it, but we'll find out. And interesting, this first thing I see is a chain brake on the end of it. It says Farm Tech. So apparently on top here it says the Holtzforma G395XP. So apparently there's some parts that are from Farm Tech. Interesting. So this one appears to be all together for the most part. Let's see what's in the bag. Yeah, only thing in here is some Allen wrenches, the little screwdriver to adjust the carburetor, and a plug socket, saw wrench. So I don't know that I'm going to need that toolkit right now because it looks like this one is actually assembled. It certainly looks like the controls that were on the 395, same choke and everything. We'll take a little look under the hood here. Yeah, pretty much looks the same. Looks like it even has an NGK plug in it, so they didn't go completely cheap on us. So this one looks like it ought to be a really quick, easy build. Making sure everything looks tight, the screws and everything. Looks okay. So I guess we're gonna take the clutch cover off here and we'll get the bar and chain put on. I've got some oil and gas here and we'll get her fired up. See how it works. The clutch looks fine. Well, you never know. But as I was saying, I did have a few problems with the other one so far. I guess what I would say, and I'll further expand on this when I do the review videos, but what I would say is if you're mechanically inclined, most loggers are. I would say most homeowners are probably not, but most small town loggers are pretty handy because they usually have to work on their own equipment and do a lot of the repairs themselves. Excuse the rustling. So I think if you're mechanically inclined, a mechanic or a logger, something like that, you're probably going to be able to handle like carburetor adjustments, or if you had to change the carburetor, things like that. I mean, if you're able to sharpen your own saw and all that stuff, which if you aren't able to sharpen your own saw, in my opinion, you shouldn't be running a saw. But anyways, unless you got the money to buy a new chain every time. But anyways, I wouldn't, if you have no experience with chainsaws, I don't know if I would want to start with one of these unless you have a really good friend that can tolerate tinkering on your stuff a lot, because I'm assuming it's going to need some carburetor adjustments and things like that, but the other one has. But it's like anything else, you got to know what you're capable of and what your equipment's capable of. So this is supposed to be 28-inch bar. It says 28, 92 driver lengths, which you're supposed to be able to take the same chain. This is a little plug, I guess, for saw suppliers. I usually buy my chains from them. I just got some chains. I did get a couple Oregon chains for this saw, knowing that I was going to be putting this one together, so I would have a few extra chains. And several, I don't know, I think I got 4 or 5 for the 24-inch and a couple for this 28-inch. But seems as though this is pretty straightforward. I'm assuming this is supposed to be their lightweight bar. I don't know, they call it a thunder cut, whatever that means, but sounds a little kooky to me. But I'm gonna have to back off the adjuster quite a bit to get it installed. That's one thing with the 395 that's kind of a little bit of a pain, which is just like the Husky version. The adjuster's back in here instead of on the cover. Yeah, it gets loaded up with gunk and such in the process of using it, so sometimes you just got to do a bunch of cleaning to get it where you need it. It's interesting to me that both of these saws the adjuster was pretty much all the way in the tight position, so I had to back them off a lot to get the bar and chain on. It looks like we are there. Pretty simple. Cover back on. Possibly. Oh, I forgot. See, it's been a while. I haven't run my my 395 much recently. I forgot the chain brake band is on the cover. So if you don't have that chain brake released, then the band's not opened up far enough to get it over the clutch drum. Seemed like an inexperienced person to me. But like I said, I really, for the last several years, I haven't really used the 395 much. Last time I really used it, I used it as a backup saw in cutting on the header or landing when I was doing a logging job. Back then I only had a 362XP that I used for a primary saw, and then had the 395 as a backup, but which, if you watch the other videos, you would know that I bought the 395 initially for ripping lumber with the Alaskan mill, because the 362 was definitely not up to that task. So like I said, it's a great saw. I probably should have kept it, but I found a way to get rid of a little bit of equipment and keep me able to buy, like I said, a couple saws. Now that's too tight. That actually tightened very quickly, quicker than I thought it would. Sounds drier than dry. I'm not quite sure why it sounds so dry. But it's looking like it's about right. I can just about get the top of the driver, or the bottom of the driver tooth. So we're going to start with that. We're going to get some oil in it before we run it. And I'm also going to grease the tip. One thing I did observe on the 372 version was they did put a grease hole on both sides of the bar, where normally an organ bar, at least the ones I use, the power cut, only has it on the one side, which would make this easier to be able to flip this one to equalize the wear on the bar as you're using it. Where the Oregon, just because my OCD, I like to be able to read it, and I always like the hole facing up like this, so when I'm filling it with gas and oil, I can grease the bar at the same time, the sprocket. If you don't have one of these grease guns, these are awesome. I think I got this one from Snap-on, because it's also works great on like air tools. If I can find a link to this, there'll be a link to all this stuff in the comments, or somewhere in the post. So if you guys want to purchase any of this stuff, I might get a couple cents from Amazon if you bought one of these saws. So go ahead, buy one, try it. We'll let me be the guinea pig though. Actually, I know a couple loggers that actually use these saws, and at least the 372 version. And for what it is, they're pretty happy with it. One guy's been using it for a year and logging every day, and that's way harder than what I'm doing. I'm just blocking up firewood. This thing will be thirsty though. If everything works all right and it fires up good and everything, I'll be running it some either tomorrow or Friday, to give it a good test. And we'll shoot a little video of that so you can see if it's working out for me or not. But we'll try to get it fired up here. Fresh tank of gas. Now I'm going to, oh, here's a decompression valve on the side here. That looks a little different, I think, than my actual 395 did. Choke. Chain brake. For all you people that think I'm going to cut my leg off, I'll put that on. Sounds pretty raspy like a 395, that's for sure. If I don't cut the dog in two here. Down. So there you have it. It runs. It actually sounds pretty crisp. The adjustment so far sounds good, but it's got to warm up more, and you got to start cutting with it so you know for sure how the if it needs to be tweaked, the adjustment. I got to check the oiler to make sure it's oiling. There is a little oil on the chain, but I might have to turn that up. Well, I got some on it, but I couldn't really see it throwing a lot of oil. But I like it to, a lot of times on the factory setting, you'll be able to go through a whole tank of gas and you only use like a half of tank of oil on some saws. So I usually adjust it where it runs out of gas and still has just a little bit of oil left in it, so you don't run it dry. But I'd rather give it a little more lube than chance of running it dry. So, but anyways, I think we're going to end it for today, and we'll do some cutting with it here within the next couple of days, and I'll do a video of that, and we will see how it works, and I'll let you guys be the judge. Remember, don't forget to hit subscribe. Help my channel out, help me grow. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And before we go, we'll have a little cameo photo bomb by my daughter. You want to come over, honey? So say hi, everyone. What are you going to do? So you're going to tell them who you are?
I'm Alana from Alana Acres.
Yep, Alana Acres. We're our other channel, so check out that one too. We do a little
Please subscribe and like.
Please subscribe and like she said. But we have Facebook pages for Alana Acres and JB Woodworks and stuff, and I believe it's just JB Woodworks on Facebook. Honey, be very careful. It's hot and sharp. And I also have another channel called JB Reviews, where I'm starting to review products and stuff and put those on there. Check them all out. My focus is on the JB Woodworks and stuff, but we want to get into the Alana Acres a little bit more too. I appreciate all of you for watching. Please comment on what you think I'm doing here, if you think it's silly or not. Any other experiences you've had with this stuff or anything like that. But I appreciate it, and have an awesome rest of your day.